Hello, everyone. I wanted to come on today to talk about starting a fire in with using birch bark. So I have here my solo stove and my puppies. We'll see how this works. And I brought some birch bark with me. I recently had some trees cleared in my yard that were kind of endangering part of my house. And so one of those was a birch tree. And so I was able to harvest the bark from the birch tree. When you're thinking about using birch bark to start a fire, it's very important to find birch bark that has already fallen off the tree, um, because you don't want to peel it off before it's ready to come off. So I am posting some pictures in my Instagram and things like that that show like the birch bark starting to peel off. I want to say never peel it off. Wait till you find it on the ground, it's already fallen, and that's when it's okay to harvest. You don't want to harm a tree in the process. So I have a lot of birch bark here. Um, I have even more in my bag, but you don't need a lot to start a fire. So what's great about birch bark is it will light even when it's wet. So if you find yourself in the middle of the woods needing a fire and it's raining, things like that, and it's going to be harder to start a fire in the rain, it's always great to find some birch bark. And when I say it lights quickly, all my fires are lit this way. Again, I'm using a solo stove. I mean, look at that. That's like really great fire material. I'm using a solo stove, so it's really small. But you can use, and that's one little piece of birch bark. You can use I'm going to add some tinder in here as well, just some small pieces. You can use this in any fire. So if you're making a big campfire, you could still just use a small piece and it goes a long way. If it's wet, it might need a little extra help to burn and work with that fire around. Let me put that birch bark away because I don't need more of that. Then you just add the tinder on. But yeah, again, I use this for my big campfires as well. Use a small piece and use some tinder, like the small kindling, and it goes a long way. Look at that. One little tiny piece of birch bark, a lighter, and you're good to go. There are ways to do it, obviously, with flint and steel and some of the other things that maybe I'll show you in the future. This is actually such a roaring fire. I might need to back up a little bit. But I mean, how cool is that? So quick. That took a couple seconds. I collected some tinder, collected some dry wood. Again, if you had wet wood, it might take a little bit longer, a little bit more birch. But as you can see, I mean, that started so super fast. It's burning nice and bright. I take the phone a little bit away from it, and pretty phenomenal. And so my next step is to do a little meditation around the fire. And a lot of times I will just look at and watch, stare at the flame, and really be in that moment. So let's take a moment with the quiet to just have some space with the flame. Maybe think about things that you are hoping for, wishing for, thinking you want to release. It's such a powerful tool to use fire. And again, I'm just letting this burn out, but you could keep feeding it. I didn't feed it very much to start, but you could keep feeding it some dry wood. And in my bigger fires, of course, I will use like actual firewood and all of that. So that's starting a fire with birch bark. Again, a tiny piece of birch bark goes a long way, and only take the birch off the ground. Please don't take it off of the tree until it's ready to come off, which is when it would be on the ground. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to write comments down below and share if you try it out. It's a nice, easy way for you to be able to create a fire quickly at home or in a situation where it's raining and you need a fire to get started. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again.